Welcome, I'm Jeff Blubaugh, Sedgwick County Commissioner, District 2. Today I'm joined with Lynn Packer, and his position is Public Works Director and County Engineer. Lynn, thank you very much for joining me today.
I appreciate you inviting me to sit down.
Absolutely. So I'd like to discuss, first off, just tell us a little bit about your background, family, anything personal you'd like to share.
Yeah, sure. Unlike a lot in this organization, I'm not a native Kansan, not native to Wichita. I actually grew up a Navy brat in San Diego. My dad served 30 years in the Navy. We were actually very fortunate. The second half of his career, after my sister and I came along, was really spent mostly in San Diego. They had done a lot of moving around early in the career, and I only experienced 2 moves myself. So a little atypical for a Navy career, but it allowed us to stay in San Diego, which no one complains about. But yeah, I spent all my youth in San Diego. I actually went to San Diego State University to get my civil engineering degree. And when I was actually in grad school, I actually met my wife on a blind date. She was there vacationing, and a mutual friend introduced us, and as they say, the rest is history. But that's actually what brought me to Kansas. She's from Winfield, and she's a teacher. She had already started her career, so I 25 years ago, relocated out here. You definitely have to do as a young person. I don't know if I would be able to do that today, but I was willing to give it a shot and try it, and I fell in love with it. Don't get me wrong, I love San Diego. It's my hometown, but I don't know if there's a better place to raise a young family than in Wichita, Kansas, South Central Kansas. It's a great environment. I'm lucky to have 2 kids that have now grown up way too fast. And my son's getting ready to graduate high school, Mays High School, in May. And my daughter's at WSU, and she's going to graduate with her undergraduate in May. So it seems like it's just been a blink of an eye, and everyone's growing up. But Sedgwick County actually gave me my first opportunity in civil engineering. Started out as an intern engineer, worked my way through various positions, and I've been very blessed the last 3 years to serve as the county engineer and director of public works.
Wow. So coming from San Diego, I think we have the same mean temperature, don't we? Here, they just don't have the variation.
Yes, much more variation here in Kansas.
Well, how exciting. So you wear a lot of different hats, absolutely. How are you able to communicate and make decisions with so many different departments of the county?
I was really fortunate at a young age. I've had some good mentors, both professionally and personally, and so I've understood the importance of communication, the importance of leadership, and one of the best things I've had over the last several years is a really good leadership team. That has allowed me, to develop those relationships with them. We have great communication. I trust them to handle the day-to-day operations, which allows me the ability to work with you and the other commissioners and keep you guys apprised of, what we have going on. But also it allows me to engage with a lot more of the employees, be able to have that relationship with the leadership team that they can let me know what's going on and what needs attention, and I can learn what they're doing, day in and day out, and help them with those pain points. And that's really been, really essential in being able to diversify and spread myself around.
Absolutely. So where do you see some of the biggest challenges currently, Sedgwick County, both short and long term?
Yeah, that's, I'll probably take the low-hanging fruit on that one, and I'll talk about funding. Yeah. Really, that is a short and long-term challenge that we have, and most governments do. I realize that, but we have been asked for quite a long time now to keep a flat budget, and that sounds wonderful. But when you take in the fact that we've had a lot of inflation, everything from labor to materials costs more now. The dollar just doesn't stretch as far as it used to. So we literally, for the last several years, have been doing less with less.
Yeah.
Our CIP budget used to cover our projects pretty well, and that comes in. We're very fortunate. We have a local sales tax that covers our capital improvement program for the roads and highways and bridges, and it used to cover us really well. It doesn't anymore.
Yeah, just yesterday, I had a constituent reach out to me, and he said, property taxes keep going up. Give me a list of infrastructure projects that you guys are working with in Sedgwick County. And of course, I always defer to, we're only 20 to 25% of that tax bill. However, people want to see return on that tax dollar, and they do want to see the improvements. That's one of the biggest complaints I hear is, why isn't my road graded any better? Why isn't, I'm paying X amount of dollars in property tax. They have an expectation for their service of government.
Yes, they do. We've, since 2003, we've lost probably about 15% of our workforce that still we haven't been able to get back. And that has definitely, although we don't say that we no longer do certain services, we just do it less frequently. We used to mow 4 or 5 times a year. We 2, maybe part of a third round we'll get in now. We just don't have the personnel available to do that. We have a backlog of projects in storm water and stream maintenance that is ever growing, and we can only tackle a few projects a year. We have a team of 4 individuals that cover the entire county. And that's all we have. They're them and their equipment, and we really need to look at, the long term. I think we need to look at dedicated funding. We're lucky to have that dedicated funding for our capital improvement projects, but just our everyday maintenance, from stream maintenance to stormwater. We don't have any dedicated funding at all for stormwater. We used to have 5 personnel in stormwater, engineers and technicians. We now have a stormwater manager, just 1, and for the entire county. We're not making any headway with flood projects, with drainage projects, because there is no funding. And we need to look forward to trying to find some alternative ways for funding, and it's a challenge. I
more with
totally
less.
understand it. Yeah, whether you're talking about bringing in for sales tax or a fee or property tax, everyone's struggling with that. And
got cold weather coming in. That's another added responsibility, another hat that you get to wear. Can you lightly touch on some of the things that you're going to have to do to, be proactive to ensure that our roads are safe during this cold weather?
We actually just had our mandatory snow and ice training, so we're already preparing for it. We knew this is the time of year. We always keep an eye on the weather. We work outdoors. That affects our schedule so much. But we have already started that. We've been keeping an eye on the weather. They're reporting that south of Nebraska, we're supposed to be wetter and heavier on the snow coming through this year. We always hope that's not the case. Last year, our first time out was 2 consecutive storms that kept our guys out working 24 hours a day for 7 straight days.
Well, if the snow's anything like the rain was this year, we're going to have our hands full.
Hopefully that won't be as bad as they're predicting. But we've already, we'll soon be starting to get in our plows on our trucks and converting everything over. Right now, we're trying to finish up the last of our projects, get some hot mix projects in, and get it down so that we can convert everything over and be ready for when that first snow hits.
Okay. One last question, kind of a fun one.
Sure.
What is something that most folks wouldn't know about you?
There's probably 2 things. First, I told you I met my wife on a blind date. What I didn't mention was it was actually a long-term ex-girlfriend that actually introduced us. And we've remained friends over the years. Her and her husband, she found her person, and they live in Georgia now. But we keep in touch. And she introduced us when she was in San Diego. I took her out it was her birthday when she was vacationing out there, and I took her out for some coffee and met her, and we ended up dating long distance for a little while, and finally, that's when I moved out here. She's been my rock over the years.
Good.
But what a lot of people don't know, they did at the time when it happened, but she actually asked me to marry her. And not only did she do that, but she did it on the B98 morning show.
Okay,
So
wow.
I got a phone call at work, and you know, it's never a good thing when a radio show or the press calls you directly. So I didn't know what to say, and then it took me a few seconds to realize what was going on, and yeah, she asked me on the radio live if I would marry her, which is a really cool story. I like that. I have a cousin back east that actually recorded everything. She knew about it, and she recorded everything and sent us a CD with it on it.
Congratulations to you guys, and good luck as you make the transition to being empty nesters here in a few years.
Yes.
So. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Lynn, for joining us. If you'd like to reach out to me directly, best way is my email, jeff.blubaugh@sedgwick.gov. Lynn, how can they reach out to you?
And my email address is lynn.packer@sedgwick.gov. And if you're looking to get a hold of the Public Works Department, you can just call us anytime at 660-1777.
Okay. Thank you very much for everything you do. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.